Hello. I've been asked several times to put in a nutshell what I know about working life conflicts and the related mediation. So let's give it a try. Even though it is mission impossible, as today we know so much about both conflicts and mediation. Why me? Probably because I'm docent of conflict management, performance management, managerial communications, and I'm a language teacher, which means I'm passionate about human interaction. Finally, I'm Doctor of Science in Technology, and I research working life phenomena like conflicts together with my colleagues at LUT University. Even though we are passionate about working life phenomena, we know, of course, that there are conflicts everywhere in all sectors of life. In fact, whenever you put people together, things start happening. And these things are not always pleasant, not always constructive. Rather, they cause a lot of mental load. In the working life context, we're dealing with concepts and labels like these. And then, of course, there's the term conflict. Conflict doesn't mean that we're dealing with something really severe, really drastic, really escalated. Rather, conflict is just an umbrella term for all of these synonyms. What these have in common is that they all cause a lot of human suffering. And that's why we need to find means and tools and processes for dealing with the suffering. Over the past 15 years, I have been researching conflicts and mediation a lot. One of the things that we know now is that whenever there are conflicting interests within a team, that we can't really resolve on our own. And if we allow the situation to continue, we are actually triggering what researchers have labeled as the spiraling effect of conflicts. And we know what happens with spirals. They eventually get escalated, they get extended, they begin to touch more and more people in the work community. And all of a sudden we realize that the entire work community is badly infected. And that's why we need to find means of putting a stop to the suffering and to the deteriorating impacts that it has on the group dynamics and productivity. These are the fields that I have been examining for the past 15 years, and they are all very supportive of mediation. They provide us with logics, concrete tools, interventions, strategies, and processes to put an end to the suffering, not to the conflict itself. We actually don't want to prevent conflicts because they are strongly associated with learning outcomes, both for individuals and then for the entire team or organizations. These practices that I have taken an interest in are restorative. Restorative practice means that we're actually really interested in the root causes behind the conflict, not on finding somebody to blame. And when we start using these restorative tools, which are, by the way, very dialogical, they are dialogical interventions for anybody to apply. And when we start applying them, we start getting benefits. First of all, we realize as a very concrete gain that our work processes, our collaboration is becoming smoother. As a result, people begin to thrive. They feel better psychologically, socially, and physically. And this is a good way of removing barriers to productivity. And of course, ultimately, we yield gains as individual, team, and organizational outcomes. So we see gains at the bottom line. So it really pays off paying attention and improving group dynamics and social interaction in any team. If you struggle with it, remember there are trained mediators who know how to support you. If you want to know more, you can see my email address in here. Thank you for listening. Bye.